Well, speaking of, I don't know, weather and Earth, we've got Matt Sellen here with us this morning for our Wise Guy segment. And we're talking about some really cool shots that were taken of Mrs. Earth.
Yes, and it kind of started last week when we were doing the fireworks thing in Arthur. And I'm thinking, well, it's still kind of the 4th, well, still even closer to the 4th of July. And we all like rockets because, you know, boom and stuff like that. So I was Googling rockets and things, and I came across this, this NASA website where they're talking about these new satellites they're putting up there to take pictures of the Earth. For monitoring the Earth itself, but also to understand the climate and things like that. And it's really cool. And so I know there's some pictures. Maybe we're going to start out with one. There you go. So about a year ago, this picture came out. It's called the Blue Marble. And the satellite, you know, over many days of orbiting the Earth, assembled, stitched together this picture, and it's just beautiful. And you can go online, if you just go to NASA's website or you Google NPP, which is the name of the satellite, and NASA all in once, you'll see the place where you can see all these beautiful images that this thing has put together. So it has pictures of the Earth both during the day and during the night. And I was going to talk about those a little bit, but I want to first talk about how the satellite works, because it's really cool. I was reading about this satellite, and to do this I need a prop.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go.
Please. Yes.
This is the Earth. Now I should have got a blue marble, but I didn't have one, so I got a red one instead. So if this were the Earth, right, and if you were this satellite or the space station or many other low Earth orbit satellites that we have, you could ask yourself, how far away from the Earth are you if you're the satellite going around the Earth? Okay. And you might be surprised to know that you're really very close. You're only about this far away. Okay, so you're really close to the Earth. So the way that these things work is that they circle the Earth repeatedly, and the Earth is rotating. Suppose the Earth is kind of spinning on its axis like this. During that time, the satellite is going round and around like this, except quite close, okay? And so that means that as the Earth turns, the satellite kind of peels off, it passes over different little parts of the Earth every time, but it's very close. So it's like if you were like this, your eyeball is right up against the Earth, you'd only see a pretty small part of the Earth at a time. So that's why it takes a while for these things. They have to go around many, many, many times before you get a complete beautiful picture like the one that we just saw. But this thing has this orbit I'd never heard of before until yesterday, called a Sun Synchronous Orbit.
What's that?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you what it is. So what it does is it means that the satellite always passes over the same spot of the Earth at the same time every day. So on the equator, whenever the thing goes around and passes over the equator, it's 1:30 at that spot on the Earth, which is very important, because what you want when you're taking a picture over and over of one part of the surface of the Earth, you want the sun always to be in the same place every time you take that picture, because if the sun moves around, the shadows are going to change, things are going to look different. So if you're studying, for example, the environment or the climate, things like that, where it's very important to have high precision photography, you always want the sun to be in the same place when you take the picture of the same part of the Earth. So this thing, they've rigged it up so that it rotates relative to the way the Earth rotates. The satellite rotates at just the right place, so the sun is always in exactly the same spot in the sky when it's, when it's over one spot on the Earth. So that's how it's able to make these really beautiful pictures. And I never heard of this before, but so anyways.
A little bit of algebra went into that.
I think a little bit about it. In fact, these orbits are fascinating. We could do a whole other show on orbits, okay, but we won't probably, today, because we don't have time, but we have a bunch of other pictures.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these other ones. Let's take a look at some of the
pictures. And this is the picture of the satellite before they put it on the rocket and launched it.
Okay.
And it's about the size of a minivan or a small bus. There they go. They launched it about 600 days ago, so a little less than 2 years ago the thing went up. There's a movie that maybe that we have, if we can sort of click on that. If we can't, that's okay. There we go. Okay, so this shows, and this is just to explain, this is a picture that is supposed to describe the way the orbits work. And you've probably seen these in mission control pictures if you've ever watched NASA, like on cable TV. And you see these wobbly lines up and down, and you go, what the heck do these wobbly lines mean? Is the satellite doing wobbly stuff? And it's not what it means at all. The satellite just does one thing. It just goes in a circle. And as the Earth rotates underneath the satellite, the path that the satellite traces across the Earth kind of has that wobbly look to it. That's all it is. Yeah. And if we go, I think we have, yeah, there we go. So this kind of shows the way that the thing is taking pictures. So it's a picture of the entire planet Earth, but you see these sort of stripes.
Yeah.
So each little stripe is the image that's made as it makes one loop around the Earth.
Very cool. And that video that you mentioned, we're going to have that coming up, I believe, in our 7 o'clock hour of the morning show. And we're going to continue talking about this a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. Also, remember, you can text your questions to Mats, see what you want him to answer the next time he's joining us for WISE. Guy, just text Mats to 22333. We've got more of the morning show next.